She pulls away the moment you offer her everything. She creates distance when you finally decide to give her your all. And what's most puzzling, she aches for the man who doesn't even seem to try. Female desire has never been guided by logic. While you're busy offering devotion, consistency, and exaggerated affection, she feels an inexplicable void. Not because she's cold, but because you're playing a game with rules she never agreed to. A woman's attraction isn't triggered by grand gestures or obvious intention. It comes alive in mystery, in emotional tension, in contrast. She doesn't crave what's clear. She's drawn to what ignites her imagination, what makes her question, what stirs her skin before her mind catches up. That's what this is about, the man she can't explain, who lingers in her thoughts even when he's with someone else. The one she's never even touched, yet can't erase from memory. This man isn't the best looking or the strongest. He is the most unreadable. And that's where everything shifts. From here, every word you hear brings you closer to the place few men ever discover, the birthplace of true desire. The space where it grows, intensifies, and transforms into surrender. Breathe deep, the game begins now. You were taught that love would come through charm, cars, bodies, or wealth. But reality hit hard, you can have all of that, and still feel invisible. Why? Because what sparks her desire isn't seen with the eye. It's felt in the air. In how your energy changes a room. In how rooted you are in yourself. That's why she can crave an ordinary man with powerful presence, and reject a flawless man dripping with need. Her desire is primal. Emotional. Electric. Physical attraction is a footnote, often irrelevant. What truly matters is how she feels in your presence, even in silence. And here lies one of the most overlooked truths in female psychology: her desire is shaped by the context, not your appearance. You could be attractive, smell amazing, and have money. But if your energy is insecure, needy, or off-center, she'll feel it. You'll be seen, and forgotten. Robert Greene illustrates this perfectly in The Art of Seduction. Seduction isn't how you look, it's the atmosphere you create. It's what you cause to swirl around you. A woman is a living radar for emotion, she picks up signals you don't even know you're sending. That's why she steps back when you try to prove yourself, and leans in when you simply exist. She longs for strength, but not aggression. Mystery, but not distance. Presence, but not dependency. She wants to feel. And feeling doesn't operate by logic, it runs on instinct. That one difference between men and women changes everything. Men are switches, see it, want it. Women are dials, they build up to it. Slowly, emotionally. And if you don't know how to raise that dial, she's gone before you realize you were even being tested. Her attraction grows in doubt. In strategic absence. In silence that leaves her wondering. In your slow, deliberate moves. She doesn't want the answer, she wants to question. Not, does he love me, but, does he see me? That's everything. Cleopatra wasn't the most beautiful. But she was unforgettable. Julius Caesar and Mark Antony were captivated not by her looks, but by her presence. Her essence. She wasn't a woman, she was a force. That's what desire feeds on, the unknown, the magnetic pull to something you don't understand, but have to experience. Men who understand this stop trying to impress. They start to emit. They don't chase, they're chased. Not because they're manipulative, but because they're aligned. You don't need to change your style, you need to command the moment. Your walk, your gaze, your tone, your silence. Your control of emotion. Your comfort in chaos. That's what speaks louder than anything you say. That's what she feels in her body before her mind has a chance to object. And that's only the beginning. Let's talk about what ruins all of this. The fatal error so many men make that turns them invisible. The problem isn't what you feel, it's when you reveal it. Female desire takes time. It's a slow ignition in the dark, surrounded by uncertainty. But you, eager to win her, flip on every light, say everything, give everything, do everything, and she shuts down. It feels unfair. But it's nature. When you give too soon, you smother the mystery. When you hand yourself over without invitation, you collapse the intrigue. When you confess fully before she feels halfway, you become predictable. And predictability is the death of attraction. At the beginning, a woman doesn't want to know that you love her. She wants to wonder if you do. She craves tension. Suspense. The slow unraveling. If you rush with declarations, gifts, or neediness, you don't seem loving. You seem anxious. And anxiety reeks of desperation. She'll sense it immediately, even if you're smiling. The man who constantly tries to prove his value is the man who doesn't believe he has it. And she hears that loud and clear. A woman is drawn to the man who isn't trying to be desired, because he already knows he's enough. He doesn't push. He simply stands. And that's what makes her lean in. Most men are taught to always be sweet, always be available, always say yes. But to her, that doesn't look like love. It looks like weakness. Like a man without boundaries or backbone. Like someone who gives himself to anyone who asks. And what should feel special, now feels cheap. Robert Greene talks about the ideal lover and the mysterious archetypes who never give themselves away too soon. They pull her into a world of imagination, contrast, tension. They don't win with facts, they seduce with feeling. That's the point. Female desire isn't logical, it's a story. And no story is compelling without suspense. The man who gets this becomes a master of presence and absence. He shows up with intent. Disappears with purpose. Creates pauses she fills with fantasy. He doesn't vanish to play games, he vanishes because he's living a life. With goals. With mission. She is not his world, she is a part of it. That is why she wants in. And here's the most brutal paradox, the more you make her the center, the less she wants you. But the more centered you are in yourself, the more she wants to orbit you. Not because you neglect her, but because you don't worship her. That creates attraction. That builds desire. A woman gives herself to the man who has a life of his own. Who can love, but never lose himself. Who can care, but still command respect. Who can be soft, but never submissive. That tension, that polarity, is irresistible. She wants to feel like she's walking the emotional edge. Not too close. Not too far. Right where her stomach flips into craving. And this is where your presence becomes everything. It's the invisible force that turns a regular man into something unforgettable. She senses you before you speak. Feels your value in the pauses. And if that sounds mystical, it's because you haven't yet experienced what real presence means. You can have the looks, the charm, the status. But if your inner world is shaky, if your emotions are chaotic, if your presence is hollow, she'll forget you. Because women don't desire what dazzles. They crave what vibrates. And true vibration, true presence, comes from your internal state. If you feel small, she'll sense it. Even behind nice words and kind gestures. Your energy exposes you. She is built to detect lack the way a lion detects fear. Nietzsche said, "What is good? That which enhances power. What is bad? That which comes from weakness." A woman is pulled to what empowers her. Not what clings. Not what begs. That's why a man with inner strength, a mission, and quiet certainty becomes magnetic. He could wear a plain t-shirt and say nothing, but he walks with purpose. He speaks with timing. He breathes with congruence. He doesn't act confident, he is aligned. And that is irresistible. She doesn't want a performer. She wants a pillar. A man so rooted in himself, he never needs to impress. Who doesn't change his voice to please? Who doesn't avoid conflict to keep peace? Who doesn't fake smiles or rush responses? But who also doesn't hesitate? He is whole. Solid. An emotional anchor. And when she feels that, her body lets go. Her mind softens. Her desire blooms. Because real masculine energy is calm in the storm. While the world panics, he stays composed. While she tests, he observes. While chaos erupts, he remains unmoved. That's not coldness. That's grounded leadership. That's presence. That's masculine essence. She is fluid. She is emotional. She is chaos. She doesn't want to be tamed, she wants to be held. And only a man with center can do that. Once you become this man, the game flips. You don't chase, you attract. You don't explain, you emanate. You don't need attention, your stillness commands it. She looks at you and feels, he's not trying to have me, he already has himself. That's why she wants in. That's the truth. You don't reveal yourself all at once. You unfold, layer by layer. Slowly. Purposefully. With intention. And the beauty? You don't need to act. You only need to return to yourself. Stop performing. Stop pleasing. Stop comparing. You are not one of many. You are one of one. But only if you claim it. She won't desire you for your words. She'll desire you for your posture. Your breath. Your silence. Your calm. And when that happens, she won't crave you because she needs to. She'll crave you because she feels pulled. Not to a fantasy, but to a man who is real. Rooted. Rare. Radiant. That is the new you.